It was class to see the show. It's going to be a belter. It is going to be a belter.
It's
called
Belter.
I didn't even mean that. It's called Go and See Belter, 6:40 stand 2.
Oh, Gareth
and then
Muchie boy.
stay in the room and see me.
Is that what you were back to back?
Yeah.
Some
green room we've got this year.
Yeah, man, that's good. I think
What have you got?
I think I've got like Stuart Mitchell, Ray Bradshaw.
Nice. Ray Bradshaw is like a lot of the reason I live in Edinburgh now.
Really?
Yeah, because he hosted a bunch of my gigs when I first started in Aberdeen for Breakneck and stuff like that. And then he gave me like invaluable advice. He was like, book in Red Raws because the waiting list is so long. You'll have time to do more gigs around here and get better. And also think about moving more central. Think about moving to Glasgow or Edinburgh because you don't have like a super Doric Aberdonian. Would it feel like you've got like none of that going on? Because my voice is quite down the line.
I would never have pegged you as like Aberdeen. Yeah.
So that's how impressionable I am. He could have went, you need to be moved to Iraq. You've got no accent. Move to Iraq, and I'd be there now.
If Ray says it, then we're going.
Yeah. So Bradshaw.
So what were your early comedy gigs like up there? Because I mean, I don't think we covered any of this in the last episode.
We had a whole list of stuff to speak about.
So much to talk about.
We didn't do anything. Just told daft stories. So first gig was the Aberdeen Heat of Scottish Comedian of the Year.
Oh shit!
And it was on a Tuesday at Snafu on, if my weird little brain works, I feel like the 10th of September 2010.
Oh,
but
Jesus
it might
Christ.
not be. That was gig 1, and I got through to the semi-final. And then that week, the week after that, Naz gave me my first Saturday gig. And then I cut my teeth just doing like Inverurie gigs in Aberdeen and all these weird gigs. Weird? Like just weird. I can't remember any like particularly brutal ones. I was just dead excited. But that first one was shit scary.
Yeah,
because I applied for it on the Thursday before the Heat, so I had 4 days to write 7 minutes. Because a mate of mine in college was like, "You're always talking about stand-up. Go and click this link and do it." And also, everyone knew each other, and everyone else had brought mates to vote them through because it was audience vote.
I hate that shit.
And I just went on stage. And it was a rare time we'd have seen Robin Grainger drinking before a gig. I had like a couple of whiskeys and like a couple of beers before, which I can never fathom now.
Oh yeah.
I'd be on there steaming like.
Yeah, I'm a fucking lightweight, man. I cannot do it before a gig.
But it was terrifying. Because I was like, is any of this funny? You know, that way before you do your first gig and you're like, I'm funny with my mates.
Yeah.
But even then I've got funnier mates than me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes I'm always just
I'm not
like...
the funniest of my mates.
Oh, God, no. I've got friends way funnier than me. And I'm just like, but I'm the only one that actually did it. And I'm just like, if you could that chat and all the jokes could be translated on a stage, you'd be like, they'd be flying.
Yeah, no, I know that would be.
Yeah, but you're also kind of like, just don't do it. there's enough people going.
Yeah. I did one gig in Inverurie. There was like a takeover gig. It was like in a Italian restaurant. And I don't know that a lot of the audience knew that comedy was on before a meal. And I think I went on first because I was doubling with a gig in Aberdeen. And like trying to do jokes to someone while they eat spaghetti is like really embarrassing for both people because spaghetti is the ugliest food to eat. I don't know why you'd ever be on a date and you'd order spaghetti. You're like, you're going to see me look like a fucking 7-year-old here. Especially if I'm a messy eater, but you know what I mean?
It's true, yeah.
I've gone on a Tinder date with a toddler.
Yeah,
covered in marinara.
Fuck.
But yeah, so people were still eating and we were like, comedy time, like that. And they were like, I've not had my garlic bread yet.
People do not, if people are eating, they could not give two fucks about comedy. Even if I was eating and I love comedy, I wouldn't care about the comedy.
No, not if it's a good pasta, man.
Fuck yeah, good. I think, I'll take pasta, pizza in it over comedy anytime. I did Wild Cabaret in Glasgow when I first started, Janie Godley's one. And that was, I think a lot of that was on the basis of you get a meal and the comedy. Did you ever do that one?
Yeah.
And it was
loads of fun, but it was a meal and comedy.
Yeah, and it was rough as fuck. Yeah, just like people eating like kormas in the front row, just like they're not even looking up from the meals, they're just like tucking in. And you're just like up there like I remember I used to like slag like loads of political parties in my early bits. And and they all, every single one of them tanked. And I remember Janie got up and just ripped one of my jokes to bits. And I was just like, whoa. And she obviously did it because to like win round the audience and everything like that. But I was just like, oh my God, that was brutal. Just to hear Janie Godley just rip you.
Yeah, one of the best ever, just destroy your whole life.
Yeah, she's unbelievable.
Powerhouse, absolute powerhouse. I did a Wild Cabaret before she took over those gigs. I did one. It was me, Scott Agnew. I feel like Gareth Wall was on as well.
Yeah.
And we did it when it was ran like before that. Now Agnew was hosting and like swore in a bit, and an old guy, all like done up to the nines like that, wee Dickie Bone, he had his wife on his arm like that, in like a proper evening dress. Because it used to be what was called a minglers club.
What's that?
Wild Cabaret. It's just where people go to fucking mingle.
Really?
Yeah, they just go, you dress up nice on a Thursday or whatever, and you just go and you have a wee drink and that, but you're like, it's like dapper.
Oh my God.
So, and this old guy came up and told off. He told off, it was either Scott or me, for swearing during their bit. Please do not use that kind of blue language. There are women present here.
What?
Which is very old fashioned, but also super sexist.
Yeah.
Like
the precious little
like,
ears.
shut up, you cunt. But like, what a world away from you getting a korma spat at you or whatever. Or shit,
from just
off the Tories.
from like wild Glaswegian women just not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
what it was. It was
such a mad thing to be like, women cannot handle swearing.
Yeah.
So have you been to gigs in Glasgow? They swear more than the audience on stage.
Have you walked here and heard some of this shit?
I always say that like drunk Glaswegian women are probably the wildest audience members. Like
Mental.
they are like properly up there. If you've got like a front row of drunk Glaswegian women, you're in for a wild night.
Northern Irish Hindus.
Yeah.
One of the scariest things I've ever dealt with it. When Monkey Barrel was in the Beehive still. It was upstairs. And I can't remember, I used to do a bit about something, and there's a lady on this Hindu heckled, and I think I used like a mediocre heckle put down or something like that. And when you do that to a stag do, they're just like, wait, Gary, you're a dick, Gary. We gestures, right? You're a dick. But I said something, and like, it was like they all stood up or whatever. Like, don't you dare say that to her. And I don't even think I said anything like that bad. I just went like, shush or something. Or could you be quiet while like we're on stage?
Yeah,
you know,
the sisterhood rised up.
I'm not exactly an overpowering stage presence in terms of that. Anyway, I was like, could you please be quiet while I'm trying to do my little jokes or whatever? And then they all just like a pride of like lionesses were like, fuck you.
Oh my
I was gonna
God.
get my head kicked.
You've never had anything like that happen to you on stage, have you? You can
Early gigs. Oh, speaking of early gigs, I did a gig in Inverness at Hootenannies. Have you ever been there when you're up in Inverness? It's like their nightclub.
Right.
Hoot. I got booked to do there, and it was something stupid like a 45-minute set, and I think it was like maybe a year in or something. But the fee was all right, and they were like, and we put you up in a hotel. And to me, that's like,
I'm in.
Free shampoo, baby.
Yeah.
So I went and did it. First of all, when I checked into the hotel, I was like, I'm Robin Grainger. And the lady was like, oh, we don't have you on the system. And
Perfect.
Like,
Great start.
R. Grainger, Kyle Grainger, my middle name, whatever. I'm a comedian. I'm doing a gig at Hootenannies across there. And she was like, oh. And they checked me in under the name Mr. Hootenannies. It's like they expect me to be like juggling through the door or something like that. Like, I'm Mr. Hootenannies.
It is Mr. Hootenanny.
But my first ever joke, so my first ever set was like the first 2 minutes were dedicated to, this comes from that first ever Scottish Comedian of the Year gig. First 2 minutes were dedicated to me just eviscerating myself verbally and physically, so that it was my fear of getting heckled. So I was like, if I take all their potential ammo away from them, I'll never get fucking heckled because I've already called myself everything. Yeah. So it was that, but with where I'm from, and it was like a hacky joke about I'm from a place called Inbredshire or something. You know what I mean? Some tiny village called Inbredshire. Yeah. Like that. And this drunk guy just stood up and he was like, "Don't you say that about us?" And I was like, and he was the only really drunk guy. And I was like, I wasn't saying about Inverness. Like the line before that was like, I'm from, this is where I'm from. I also started the set with, it's lovely to be in Inverness. Like, and the whole crowd were on my side. They were like, oh, shut up, sit down, shut the fuck up. And the guy's like swaying with like this half drunk pint glass. And I was like, is he with you? Like maybe you should like leave or go for like a wee glass of water or whatever. And the table were like, no, he's not with us. You know these people who they just get steaming after work in a pub
they just go
like,
by
just
themselves
on the table like that. Yeah. Mates by the end of the night or whatever. And he still stood up, and then he just downed his beer and then walked towards the stage with like an empty pint glass. And then security came in, and then got him out of there. But
Holy
that was
fuck.
early doors.
Yeah, I'd be terrified if that happened at any point.
And I remember I was getting my set filmed still on like an old digicam or whatever at the back, and I was like trying to like do the like sign language or mouth to like keep filming, because I even then so egotistical that I was like, see if I end up in A&E on a Friday night in Inverness under the name Mr. Hootenannies because of a joke that wasn't about the person, because I've been glassed. That's funny. But he didn't. He ended up leaving. But I did think the whole rest of the set was on stage like that for 37 more minutes, going like, he's outside, I'm going to get beaten up before I go home.
Fuck,
Mr.
man.
Hootenannies away.
Mr. Hootenannies. That's so good. You had the thought to just film that early gigs. I'd love.
Yeah, it was this old. It was like an old digital camera.
Yeah, I know the exact kind you mean, man. I know the exact kind you mean. Have you got all those other early gigs recorded?
Yeah.
Have you ever brought yourself to like listen back to them?
No, there's an old clip of the first time I did the Fringe in like 2000 and I guess like 11. I came down and just did like 100 like little 5-minute spots for free for a week.
Yeah.
And there's an old one there of doing one in the Three Sisters. And you don't know what I used to dress like Noel Fielding kind of as well. You never seen these old pictures? Oh, my phone's charging. I can't.
No, you have sent me this. You've sent me one. We talked about this.
I used to do this thing on my comedy Facebook page called Sober Sundays, like to sober you up with like an old image.
Yes,
of yourself.
this is exactly where you told me
like
from.
Shoulder length hair and like used to wear like scarves and like 2 belts. Like I really liked, really liked the Mighty Boosh. But you just couldn't pull it off because it just looked like a sort of ill raven.
Yeah,
and, like, my hair would be black and red and stuff like that. And
Sober Sundays.
Waistcoats a lot.
There's one, I think you sent me one picture, and I remember being like, "That looks nothing like you."
Yeah, one came up today, and it was embarrassing, and I instantly saved it because it'll get put up on socials because it's funny.
Oh, man, yeah, you have to be able to cringe at yourself.
There's proper like skinny jeans. There's one gig I did at Tunnels in Aberdeen, and I was headlining. It was like a couple of months into comedy. Shouldn't have been headlining.
Mate, what an incredible start to comedy you had. Paid fucking weekends doing 45-minute sets and you're headlining gigs.
Yeah, it's all gone down. It's all gone downhill.
What a start!
It's all gone downhill. But yeah, I wore either gold or silver, like winkle pickers.
What are winkle pickers?
Like like Chelsea boots. Like they're called winkle pickers because they're dead pointy up the top for picking winkles.
Oh,
off a rock.
right,
So, like,
yeah.
If you're ever going to be kicking a crustacean off a rock, these are the boots for you. But mine were from Primark, I think, so they're like made of cardboard. I wore them, women's skinny jeans. Not that we should be gendering our denim, but they were a better fit.
In those days, they were.
They were a much better fit for a boy with no legs. And then I think a waistcoat, a suit jacket, maybe 2 scarves, 2 belts. It's really good.
Does a picture of this exist?
Yeah, loads on my Facebook page. I used to have them set as my profile picture because when you first start comedy, you want to keep refreshing people. Like, I'm doing this, look now I'm here, now I'm there, and stuff like that. And I had loads.
Oh my God, Robin.
Brutal pictures. They're great.
You have to be able to just assassinate yourself. Like you said,
absolutely.
To come on stage and just take away all their ammunition, that's always been my thing. Like no matter what you say, I can say 10 times, like something 10 times worse about myself. Mm-hmm. So no matter what, I've always kind of like, even if someone says like, oh, you're shite, like, you don't know what goes on up here, man.
Yeah.
I could fucking tell you 10 times worse things that. Oh, you're a bit shite at comedy tonight. All right, fuck you, pal.
I hate myself.
Yeah, that's...
Get in line,
yeah,
chump.
You have to. If you can't do that, if you're like thin-skinned, that must be an absolute struggle to then just like, if a heckler comes at you, you're done.
And also like the community of stand-ups as well. Like we both hang around regularly with people who will rinse you for anything, and that's like how it should be.
Yeah. I quite like that. I think like a lot of people like that. Like it's like it's toxic and everything like that. I love that. I want it on record right now. I love toxic behavior. Yeah. Not the kind of point where like it goes like where you can't talk about like mental health and shit dangerous. Like that. But like your looks, what you've done, just to be able to rip people to bits. It's how I was brought up.
Absolutely.
Like my family are ruthless. We'll fucking slag each other for anything. So the fact that I'm now living in a world where that's just like common. I know my friends before, like all my friends now rip you to bits. Like I had this, and my friends pointing to the ponytail I have in my hair that right now it just gets ripped to bits. And I posted a picture online, and it was slightly there. And my friend just sent me a tick being like, what the fuck are you doing? You're a ponytail man now, yeah?
What the fuck are you doing? It's fucking Ronin.
And I knew it. I knew it was coming as well. The first time I ever did it, I was at a Red Raw and I was no one said anything in the green room. I was like, this is unsettling. And the picture went online later that night and multiple friends texted me and be like, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
Absolutely.
And I'm like,
has to be done.
so sorry.
Has to be done.
Yeah.
I went and I finally got a day because my mum still stays up north. I finally got a day doing shows in Aberdeen, and on the daytime of the Saturday, I got a train to Huntly and met her there for like a cup of tea. And I haven't seen my mum since before last Christmas, so December to July. And she met me at the train station in her car, and I had like a bag on and my jacket, and just looked like this really. And she went, "You look homeless." And I was like, "Been 8 months, Annette. Good to see you." And then I jokingly, to keep up the bit, now there's nothing funny about homelessness or the plight of the homeless, but to keep up the bit, I went, "Have you got any spare change?" And my mum went, "No," and started moving the car away. And I was like,
not for you
this
anyway.
is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is what it's supposed to be. Yeah, the minute you wear anything, new hat, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Oh, look at shiny shoes. Like, oh.
You know, it's funny.
Just get rinsed.
I've worn like these Adidas Superstars, these shell toes. I have worn these since like first year, and I have been ripped since first year for wearing these constantly.
Different pairs, obviously.
Different pairs, but just like
your
being
feet
like,
have grown.
but they'd
still
be
a
like,
size 4.
Yeah. Someone's be like, "Oh, we shell toe boy, we Shelley Clarkson, all these fucking."
Shelley Clarkson is great.
Honestly, ripped to bits, and I've just been like, I have to just get used to it. I wore this is
amazing, the commitment. Like, I'm not changing my shoes.
I'm not changing it. I remember this for
get used to
Christmas.
them.
I got this Tommy Hilfiger fleece for maybe like third year at school, and I thought this fleece was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. So I wore it all the time.
Yeah.
Within about 2 weeks of wearing it every single day, I had the nickname Sheep for the rest of high school. To the point now, there's a guy I know who I went to high school with. If I just said sheep in the street, I would turn around and I know it would be him.
Yeah.
Like 20 years later, he's still calling me Sheep.
The guy from my school's nickname is Cher because it rhymes with his surname, but because he liked that song, "Do You Believe?"
Yeah.
He listened to that once when we were 8, and his nickname is still that. He's 35. And feels still like, "Sure." And he's like, "One time. I listened to a song a bit one time on the radio."
So good.
That's how it's happening. Yeah.
So good.
Speaking of like wardrobe things and going back to the skinny jeans thing, I remember my first ever eBay purchase. I ordered a pair of skinny jeans from eBay, and because I wore women's jeans,
So good.
I wore women's jeans, rubbish like pockets in them, but what a fit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I ordered what I thought, it said size 8 to 10, and I thought, oh, that's probably what I am in lady sizes. I didn't look it up. I just ordered it. And then my first ever eBay purchase arrived. I was delighted. I was like, because I'd always thought eBay was all like a scam.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't that. You were going to get an empty like envelope and someone was going to have your fingerprints or whatever. And it wasn't. This parcel arrived and jeans were in it. I was like, this is sick. And then I unfolded the jeans and my face just dropped because what I'd ordered was jeans that would fit an 8 to 10-year-old.
Oh,
so they were just these like tiny jeans. And, they fit really well.
Yeah, glass.
But
Look
like, I
great
was
in them.
gutted with that. And then obviously I told my friends and obviously they ripped me
Oh, yeah.
incessantly for probably 6 months. Wear your little baby jeans.
It's good.
It does toughen you up.
You need a thick skin. Even if not even comedy, I think you just need a thick skin in life.
Absolutely.
To just get by, because it's fucking like things are going to come at you left, right, and centre. You need to be able to just go like, fucking don't care.
And it gives you like clarity and like perception of what actually matters as well. 'Cause if you're pissed off about someone taking the piss out your jacket, like it's your jacket.
Yeah.
Like either wear it or don't. Like
There is still sometimes now I'll get something, I'll be like, I'm not sure if I can pull this off. I'm not sure. And then I'll wear it out and someone will just say something, shite jacket. And I'll go, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Oh, every choice. You've seen some of this shit. I rock it. Look at this. I mean, the whole bus journey here, I was worried this was round the wrong way because there's another bear on the back.
What's it say on the front? Market.
The company's called Market, and it's got like a happy bear there and then a skeleton of a bear in the back. But the
Yeah.
whole journey, because you can feel foil on either side.
Yeah.
And like, what side is the
But
bear?
that's the thing. I think you've got a look on stage though, and you've got a look off stage because that's just you've got a look.
I've just started wearing the shit.
Yeah.
Like the 14-year-old me was too scared to wear.
Perfect.
Like the 14-year-old me couldn't have afforded shit out of like the Focus skate shop down the road, but now I can, so I'm paying them back.
Perfect.
Was it Stu McPherson said like, we'll know your mental health is taking a hit when you turn up to a gig just in a normal shirt and jeans. It's just fucking so good. And Gareth Wall, what did he say? You're like a toddler who's won the lottery. That's what he said I dress like, which is both of those things very accurate. If I wear a check shirt to a gig and like normal like bands classics,
yeah,
like,
I'll be like, Robin, are you okay? Is everything okay?
and I do dress like a toddler who's won the lottery. Like,
That fucking fair play, well, that's a good line.
it was a banger. And
Yeah.
still, I think of it every time I get like
Yeah.
I put a new jumper on. I'm like, like such a laugh. Look at this stupid bear on the thing. I am a toddler who's won the lottery. Like it's so true.
That's so good.
But yeah, you just gotta not care.
There's two things I will never wear. I will never wear a leather jacket because I don't think I can pull off a leather jacket. And I think if I turned up wearing a leather jacket, everyone would go, "Who the fucking hell do you think you are wearing a leather jacket?"
I would fucking love it.
So
You
I
turn up
know-
with a bit of eyeliner on, smoking a cigarette with a leather.
If I went through your look of like the
Yeah.
Noel Fielding look now, yeah, I know I will never wear a leather jacket because I just can't do it.
Have you got one? Or you just? Or
I'll
you
never
just
wear
mean
it.
in general, not
I will-
stage. Like just never.
I will look at them in shops and I go, "Fucking hell, looks cool." And in my head, it goes, "You'd look like a fanny. Don't do it."
Yeah.
And also the second thing, now this is, I've been told this is so stupid that I won't wear these. I don't wear sunglasses.
What?
I never wear sunglasses. I know you both of you have looked at me to be like, I feel like a fucking tit in a pair of sunglasses.
It's for your eye health.
I know,
Man.
I know, but I honestly
You're a wee
look.
peeper.
I know, but I put them on and I go, "No, you can't do this. You can't pull these off." And I've never worn sunglasses, ever.
But that's my. I went to Bass Rock yesterday and I enjoyed it, but I would have enjoyed it tenfold had I remembered my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Every photo, Claire looks beautiful, her family look cool, there's gannets and puffins everywhere, and I'm like that.
Yeah.
The sun was hurting. You need to help your wee eyes.
I know. I need to. I can't. I'm like, what? Like my. I'm like 30. What am I?
Just because you won't look good in them.
No, I just think I've tried them on in shops and I'm going, "You look like a fucking fanny."
But it's not about that.
I know.
It's about so you can keep looking like a fanny.
I know. It's the most stupid one ever. I can see the look when I said that. Both of you looked at me like, "What?"
If I see you walking along with a golden retriever and it's helping you cross the road and you're going, "But my vanity is intact," I'm going to be, "You're an idiot. You're blind now."
Oh, it's not. It's definitely just because I just think I can't do it. I can't. So maybe I just need to find ones that just don't make me look like a fucking idiot. Maybe I need to do that. But do you know, I've just never done it, and I've kind of been like,
Ever in your life?
ever.
You almost kind of have to keep not doing it.
I know,
to keep
that's
it up.
right.
You've gone 30 odd years. of
It's
living.
it's such a stupid thing. Like people have gone about, "Oh, you should get a pair of sunglasses for your holidays," and I've gone, "Yeah, cool, I will do that." I know, Rob. You both looking at me like I'm an idiot. So yeah,
That's a mad thing.
it's such a stupid thing that when you just have these things all your
Yeah.
life and you just kind of like, it's the first time I've ever talked about this.
Yeah.
This is I don't know what it is, but whenever you come on this podcast, I confess mad shit. I don't think there's anything else, any other kind of little mini little things in my life. I don't think I've got anything else to confess to you, Robin. It's like you're like an interrogation expert when you come on this podcast.
Yeah. I don't know if I've got anything either. Things that I wouldn't. I'd love a pair of Heelys. Zoom about stage in a pair of Heelys, man.
I don't understand how. I get that there's wheels on the bottom.
Same.
I don't understand how you're not just constantly wheeling on wheelies. And this feels like the most insane boomer thing to be like, "How does it work?"
Yeah, well, it was
don't get-
amazing because you called them wheelies as well.
What are they called?
Heelys.
Oh my god, for fuck's sake.
You Steve Buscemi meme. Hey, fellow kids. Wheelies. Hey, wheelies.
Oh, wheelies.
Got yourself an iPhone. What was mad is when people just go from walking to wizardry.
I don't
out of
understand
fucking
it.
nowhere. And how do you go back to walking without just falling on your fucking face?
I don't understand it. and I see the kids doing it, and I'm like, and I want to just go, how are you doing that?
I always wanted those light up shoes as well.
Oh, I had them.
I never had them.
I had them.
Disco stampers.
This is another nickname I had in school. I wore them, and they had like white stripes, white and black stripes down the side of it, and I got called Zebra. Zebra and sheep. That's my school life. Just being compared to shitty animals.
Human Blair Drummond Safari Park. Speaking of like animals in safari parks, I met my brother today, and he just visited a safari park, and this was his first story he told me. He went to a safari park in Aviemore, whatever. Sorry, this is stuck in my head all day, and you brought up sheep and
Mate, go for it. I've been watching safari park videos this morning. This is bizarre.
Yeah, that's weird. And he said, yeah, we visited, and I was like, cool. He's like, yeah, there were polar bear there, and instantly I was sad because it was like polar bear in Aviemore, just gutted. Like the saddest fox.
Must give it a gun and fucking put it.
I know. But he went. First thing we saw, some bison stamped a bird to death.
Nice.
There was like, that's what he said. I went, what the fuck? And he went, it was great.
If you want to be,
it was great. And he was like, well, we saw these bison just wandering about, and they're chasing something. And we were like, what is that? What are those bison chasing? And it was like a little sparrow or whatever. And I went, did they eat it? And they went, no, they just crushed it and moved on to their day.
But you want to see wildlife being wildlife. That's the kind of thing. If you're going to a safari park, you want to see a bit of action.
You do.
Paying it like, wake them up and do that. When you go to the zoos, it's depressing. I can do something.
Yeah, that's true. But I thought it was mental that he was like, and that was great. Like it was part of it. Like it was the first exhibition. Welcome to Aviemore.
I didn't know Aviemore even had that.
Neither did I. I didn't know they had anything. They've got a skate park. That's all I ever knew.
How the fuck is a polar bear living in Aviemore? I get it's a bit. It's not even that much like the elevation of Aviemore, isn't? Yeah,
it's a bit colder. It's not like it's on the dry ski slope.
Yeah, exactly.
This is ideal. It's cold, but not too cold.
That must be the most depressed polar bear on
Yeah,
earth.
well, he reckon it's like animals like from the top tier zoos when they're on their way out. It's like their retirement.
This is their Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, that's what.
Essentially Dignitas for polar bears.
Oh, we've got the pandas as well, though. That's the thing, that the pandas felt like a bit of a for Edinburgh.
Yeah,
I always felt bad for the male panda because he just every week or every month they'd be like, oh, it's mating season. The panda, he's gonna like impregnate her, and then every month the headline would be failed to impregnate. I mean, imagine getting called out.
He doesn't like her
for shooting blanks or not being able to make someone pregnant.
Global news.
Oh yeah, or like on a yearly basis, you'd be like, fucking give me a break, man.
I'm trying my best with all the bamboo you give me.
This poor wee guy gets called out in the Edinburgh Evening News every fucking time.
Edinburgh Live just
panda shoots blanks once again. Fucking leave him alone.
So imagine if that was a guy like your granddad or something.
I always thought that just stop calling them out. That's toxic.
Fanny go from your granddad there in his flat. What?
That's toxic behaviour we will not condone on this podcast.
And abuse, calling him out.
But
he's
it's
just
funny.
trying to live his life. He's already not where he wants to be.
He's
in Edinburgh.
He's banged up abroad. He's not in his home country.
He's not banged up abroad yet.
Oh, perfect.
Anyway.
Yeah, the bit on the safari park videos I was watching this morning, and it was all these like, I don't understand why they do this. So you might know the safari jeeps are kind of going along, and there's nothing to protect you from the animals.
I've been on one of them, yeah.
Why is there not some kind of protection for the people in the jeep? Because there's loads of lions about. And this one had it was a video of like lions, and the jeep was here and the lions were here, and they were like stalking some kind of prey, and they were all like moving slowly forward, and I was just like, eat the people in the fucking jeep.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a human yo sushi going past you, just conveyor belts of food.
It's right there, and they're like, and I was like, why aren't they going after the people in the jeep? Did he tell you why?
No. So we did one, it was in South Africa, and you go in like a reserve, and you go in just whatever rental car you've got, and you see like white lions and hyenas and stuff, and they're just like living their life, and you basically try not to get eaten.
Yeah,
is what you're doing. You're driving through. It's miles and miles and miles, but that's what I thought. I was like, we are just in a car.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't even think there were rangers because it was like a natural reserve. So it's not like sniper towers where like the lion's about to do you in here.
Yeah. Fucking
good night, Simba. It's not that. But like, because there was one point where my brother was trying to get a photo of so the group of animals and South Africa called the Big Five. They'll probably be the Big Three
Yeah.
now. 'Cause I went
Yeah,
in
fucking
2015. So there were
R.I.P. elephants.
there were five endangered species.
Yeah.
Like white lion, white tiger, some fancy hippo or whatever. No, it was a fancy rhino.
Just imagine a hippo with a monocle. Just smoking. He's
Eating a Ferrero Rocher, just unwrapping it on its horn.
he tucks.
Fancy hippo.
What a fancy
It's not
hippo.
saying you ever hear Attenborough say that. Now we see the fancy hippo.
Yeah, fancy hippo.
There's a rhino, not even a fucking hippo, wrong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my brother was leaning out the window to get a photo of this because you just see them and it's like an armored tank just sidles up to the car. Mm-hmm. And like everything kind of stops a bit when you realize like that's terrifying and real. And he was leaning out the thing to get a photo of it. And I was like, stop leaning out the back of the car to get a photo of it. He's going to have your arm off. And my brother just turned sleepily around to me and he was like, if it wants to do us in, it's going to do us in. Me being that bit closer.
Yeah.
It could tip the car. Just go like that. So there is nothing to stop. And another person on that reserve got out her car in front to try and get a photo of hyenas. She just got out of her car as an American lady.
Of course.
Like,
I could have fucking guessed that one.
Photo of a little kitty cat. And someone did run over, a warden guy did run over and go, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause hyenas are more lethal than
Oh, yeah,
lions,
they're
so,
fucking lethal little bastards.
Aye, and there was a gang of them in prowling and that. And, we went to a crocodile, sorry, just hijacked.
No, mate, I'm loving this. I love it.
Same holiday, obviously. South Africa, this wasn't in like Bucky, we went to a crocodile enclosure. We went to a crocodile reserve. So you go around, you get the tour, and bizarrely and very in the South African way of things, there's a restaurant and a pub attached where you can then eat crocodile because it's also a farm. So it's like, imagine going to a farm. Imagine like you were from South Africa and you came here and you looked at a farm of cows and then at the end you ate a burger. It was like that, but
Class.
crocodile.
Not class.
It was like that. And so I had crocodile. It's quite salty chicken.
Yeah?
I had a crocodile kebab. But the guide coming round, this is real.
What a mad thing. Imagine just getting to the end of a night like a chippy and be like, I'll have the fuck. I'll take the crocodile kebab, mate. Please, easy on the spicy sauce. All the veg, all the veg.
All the veg. Yeah, I'd never eat the bag of salad.
Crocodile kebab.
The guide that day was telling us that there was again American stag do, and they'd done the tour, and it is quite sad because you go around the tour and then they take you into the like baby crocodile bit, and you hold a baby crocodile, and they're just like these little dinosaurs with mad eyes.
Yeah.
And only 1 out of 1,000 baby crocodiles survives to adulthood because they just get picked off by other families of crocodiles for like status or space.
Jesus Christ.
So you're holding this thing, and then you go and eat crocodile. Like I'm gonna eat your mum.
Yeah, I think I'd be okay with that as long as it tasted all
It
right.
was tasty, salty chicken, and goes well with a nice fizzy Pepsi. So the guy was telling us American stag do on, and they were steaming because there's a bar attached. So they were steaming in the stag do after the tour, or whatever, and they're playing like keep you ups of football, and the football went in the river, like where all the crocs are just. It's classic.
They're waiting.
You just see them like that. And the guy got dared to go in and get the ball. Like,
Who the fuck is doing that, dear?
Yeah. Some mates he's got on him. It's probably like the brother or the bride or someone, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like, kill off the groom. Never liked him. He wears leather jackets and sunglasses. Anyway, so they're like, go in and get it, Cody. I'm making up a name here.
I mean, it feels right. It feels right.
Go in and get it. Guy jumps. Obviously, and this is word for word, the tour guide goes, and the croc fucking ate him. Because obviously it did. Because imagine you were just living your life as Ralph Brown and sushi just came over the wall at you.
Yeah, that's
and
brilliant.
You were trained to snap.
It's like, what do they say? It's like the fish jumps in the boat if you're a fisherman. You're like, there you go, job's done.
Are. And that's what the guide said. And then he said, like, it kind of altered his tour that day, but he carried on with the tour. He was like, and now we go to the next enclosure. And he was like, his metaphor was like, we don't walk across like a freeway blindfolded and not expect to get hit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're jumping in the Darwin Awards, that's a winner of that. Natural selection, you weren't meant for this planet.
But could you imagine going to that wedding and turning up home after that stag do? Like walking in, dumping your bag. How was the stag? Different.
You'll never guess what.
Different. Cody's gone.
Yeah.
Cody's gone for you.
Yeah, that's getting mentioned in the speeches. Unfortunately, Cody's not here.
Yeah.
Can be with us. But we do have Bring it crocodile kebabs for
What we
dessert.
would have loved. What we would have loved.
There's new parts to the podcast since you've been on, Robin.
Oh, is there?
There's new parts. Don't worry. It's very easy parts. Very
Okay.
easy parts.
I'm excited.
First part, you get to suggest a guest for a future podcast episode. So if there's someone you think is like really funny, someone you really like, you go, get them on the podcast, Ralph. And I've got to try and get them on the podcast. We had the first one. Kate Hammer was on a few weeks back.
Amazing.
She was first suggested guest. There's a list of them. There's a lot of them. So feel free to suggest whoever you want. And if they're not being named, have I even written them down? Because it used to be really stupid ones. Like people were doing like, we'd be talking about like Alan Anderson on the podcast, and then Farrelly went, you've got to get fucking Alan Anderson. And I was like, it got to the end, and I was like, after a while, I was like, I only really want people on I on the podcast. So like, but then people were doing Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, the
Amazing.
Archbishop of Canterbury.
What a double up. Get both of them.
I think it was Liam said Lewis Hamilton, Solange Knowles. So there's been a lot of mad ones, but then people recently have started with keeping it like more easily, like someone in British comedy do you like, and I will try and get them on the podcast.
Yeah. I'd say, has Stade done it yet?
Stade's not done it, but he is. I literally texted him the other day about it, so
Yeah.
hopefully he's coming on soon.
Johnny Vegas would be a belter.
Holy shit! Yeah,
If we could get him on the pod.
fuck.
He's a very funny man.
Yeah.
Who else would be great on your? You've probably interviewed everyone, haven't you, by now?
I've got. There's still loads to go, man. Honestly, there's still loads. There's anyone.
Susan Morrison.
Susan
With
Morrison,
on.
yes.
She's just funny and clever
Yeah,
all the
Susan
time.
Morrison. Yeah.
I'd say them.
Cool.
Because there's three people, they've all lived lives, and between them have got the best comedy stories as well.
Yeah, I can imagine Susan Morrison's got some sort of. What does Johnny Vegas do these days? Does he
Just
do much?
act. He came along to the stand just a couple of months ago now, but he came along just to watch. He'd wrapped filming a thing that was being filmed in Edinburgh, and he just wandered up on like the Saturday night
No way.
and he watched, and then he hung out backstage and Susan and me were on, and Lee Brophy, and he just told us, and Mark Nelson, and he just told us all stories, and a lot of his old stories started at the stand in like 1997 or whatever, and Susan was like one of the regular hosts, so they were just having banter back and forth about gigs from like the 90s and early 90s and stuff, and I just sat there.
Imagine just knowing Johnny Vegas.
Yeah, it was great.
Holy shit. I just think he was like a proper, like, old drunkard. And then the more I read about him, the more people like Stuart Lee holds him up in like the highest.
He's one of the cleverest people. His book is phenomenal, and his audiobook is one of those perfect ones where he reads it. So you listen to
I love an audiobook where people read it.
Very, very, very funny.
Yeah. Billy Connolly's one, that's really good. Yeah. That's really good. Anyone like Fern Brady's, who else? Lemmy's.
Have you had Fern on this?
No, not yet.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll add Fern to the list. I think she's maybe up for Fringe. Yeah, but yeah, Johnny Vegas is like, I had a completely wrong opinion of him in the beginning, but apparently he's fucking incredible.
Just stories for days, that man.
Yeah.
You could get him on with Susan. You'd just have like, you wouldn't need to say anything because they just.
Yeah, and me and George just sit there, just being like, fucking, all right, cool.
That's my favourite though, when comedians who've been around longer just start speaking old school stories.
Yeah.
I sat there like, this is fucking.
Yeah, I want to know. They should all have podcasts. They should all have podcasts to tell those mad stories from like the early days. But we've got to get them on the podcast and be like, tell me the fucking stories.
Tell me everything. So yeah, I would say all those.
Cool, man. That's some good suggestions there. And then the final part is just if you've watched, and I know you into this quite a lot of stuff. Any books, TV films, albums that you've like listened to, watched recently, and you go, more people need to know about these things.
I'm probably best for books. I watched a really good TV show called Kaleidoscope recently.
Yeah.
With Giancarlo Esposito.
That's the bad guy from Breaking Bad, yeah.
And it's about him. They're trying to do like a heist on an unbreakable vault, and you can watch it in any order. But they like, so it's like the red episode 10 months before the heist, the blue episode 4 weeks after the heist.
All right.
And it doesn't give you an order. It just plays. So hopefully you get in the right order. There is obviously...
Holy shit, that's quite a cool idea.
You can Google the right order, and it's basically chronologically, obviously. You don't want to watch the heist in them all.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's what we watched recently. book-wise, great book called Who They Was by Gabriel Krause. That was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2020, I want to say. It's just great. It's about a guy who is trying to get a degree at university in London, but at the same time he's like part of like gang culture and gang life.
Cool.
So it's like him trying to separate himself from one entire life to do this literary kind of like it's dead good.
Nice. Brilliant.
Yeah, those been a couple of
Class, man. Brilliant suggestions there. Thanks for coming on again, Robin.
Thanks for having me. What a laugh.
What a laugh, man. Oh my God. Some of that. The whole time I've just been thinking, banged up abroad. What a fucking line was. But cheers, Robin. Cheers for coming in, man.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rob.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.